What's up, you guys? I'm Tessely and I'm coming to you today from my kitchen because this video is all about things that I eat in a week. I'm going to keep it real with you, realistic, kind of healthy. We'll see how the week goes. But you guys have been asking for this video, so I'm here to deliver. So I really hope that you enjoy it. I'll also be sharing a little bit of like workouts that I do, like my workout routine. So yeah, I really hope that you enjoy this video. Let's get into it. I've been doing intermittent fasting on and off for about 8 years now. Especially during the week, I try to stick to this routine. During the weekends, I'm a little bit more relaxed with this, but during the week, I stick to this routine. So my first meal is a lunch, and that's usually around noon. And my second and last meal is dinner, which is usually around 6. Now, after dinner, I'll have like a little bit of yogurt maybe, or a piece of chocolate, but in general, I stop with my eating at 8. So I eat between noon and 8. And other than that, it's the fasting window. And I started doing intermittent fasting initially for weight loss reasons. And don't get me wrong, it worked. However, I wouldn't say it's the end all be all. But the other benefits that this eating pattern, so to say, has, I find are much more beneficial to my lifestyle, which is why I've been doing it for this long. It really helps me with my concentration in the morning, and that's the biggest benefit for me. In the morning, I'll just have my black coffee and tea, and then crack on with deep work until lunchtime. After lunch, I'll have a cappuccino, and if I crave more caffeine, I'll have a matcha latte or black tea with milk. I know, very English. But another benefit is that I also have one less thing to think about, one less meal to shop for. So honestly, it also saves me on groceries, time, and the headache of thinking, what do I want to eat? It truly just frees up mental space, in my opinion, and this is something that these days I value enormously. As you can see in this video, my meals are not extremely healthy. I try to do my best. I definitely balance things out as much as possible. I try to eat whole foods and home-cooked meals as much as I can, but I also believe in not depriving myself too much because, I gotta live my life, and food is a big part of that for me. But another thing that also makes my life easier is cooking for at least 2 days. I can honestly eat the same meal 3 days, sometimes even 4 days in a row with no problem. I'm not big on meal prepping, but this is my version of that. And again, it makes grocery shopping easier, it creates less waste, and it saves me time, ton of time. And sometimes I'll cook dinner and then I'll have the leftovers for lunch, which is also an option. But I also enjoy eating breakfast for dinner, for example. Super easy peasy and delicious. Okay, now when it comes to my workout routine, some of you have been asking for the details since forever, and I don't think my workout routine is anything fancy or, to be honest, worthy of a whole YouTube video. But for those of you who want to know, basically what I do is I work out at home. I work out 4 times a week on average for about 40 to 50 minutes each time, and I always use weights. I think that's one big thing that works for me. I don't really focus on cardio much. I do kind of a HIIT workout, but I always incorporate weights in all the exercises that I do. Either weights in combination with resistant bands or just weights. I love growing Ananas on YouTube. I'll link her channel below. She has incredible videos of like different lengths depending on your lifestyle. Other than that, I walk Frida 3 times a day. Each walk is about 15 minutes. In the weekends, it's a little bit longer, probably an hour and a half in total. But that's pretty much it when it comes to my workout routine. Now, when I'm on vacation, I'll be a little bit more active, do some running, swimming, but that's just strictly on vacation. I don't have a gym membership. Yeah, like I said, I just work out at home. Now, if I want to shed some water weight and slim down, if I have, for example, an event coming up, or I want to detox after a vacation, I'll do a 24-hour fast. I have done a 3-day fast before, but for me, that's a bit much. I really did see the results, so it is tempting to do that again, but it was very taxing on my body, but also mentally it was tough. But I do know that there are a lot of benefits that come from that. Keep in mind though that this video is not for the purposes of giving you advice. It's purely for entertainment. I'm not like educated in any of these things. I'm just here to share my experience with you. Not all bodies are created equal. You know, I'm born with a certain body shape. So what might work for me might not work for you. Now, after this fast, if I want to go stricter with my diet, what I'll do is I'll limit bread and fats like cheese and butter. And God knows I love cheese. So that's a tough one for me. But there's so much fat and sodium and all of that in cheese. Another thing that I cannot get enough of is chips, but I'll limit that to 2 weeks and the craving will definitely die down with time. Now, for years already, I don't cook beef or pork at home, and I rarely drink alcohol at home. I would say maybe once every 2 weeks I'll have a glass of wine with dinner if I'm doing like a special dinner at home, but in reality, I just don't drink at home. Only when I go out for a dinner at a restaurant, I'll indulge. I'll have my ribs and my pork and things like that. But if I'm on a strict streak, I'll first of all limit the amount of times that I go out for dinner. And if I go out for dinner, I'll have whatever healthier options is on the menu, like a salad, fish and veggies, things like that. And these are things that I love, period, so it doesn't feel like a punishment. And I would say my strict streak would be around 4 weeks, so a month at the most. Oh, and soda and juices are other things that I just don't buy anymore to consume at home. If I show you my fridge and pantry, it's actually extremely empty and boring. But this is what works for me. Because if I buy it, I'll eat it. I know myself. So whenever I have people coming over, I have to remember to go to the store and get some stuff, because that's just, I will have nothing to serve them. But it doesn't feel like a punishment to me, and that's the reason why I've been able to maintain a relatively stable figure. Of course, it fluctuates depending on the weather, the time of the month, life events, vacations, things like that, and I allow myself as well, age as well, of course. The older I get, the harder it is to maintain the same weight. But I try not to, let it fluctuate to an extreme. We try to keep it cute over here. But like I mentioned before, I try to also, limit the amount of times that I go out for dinner. One thing that really helps with this is to get produce from specialty stores. So if I want to cook something French, I'll go to the French store. If I want to cook something Italian, I'll go to the Italian store, get like fresh pasta, fresh basil, good quality cheese, premium butter, all those deliciousness, and make it special, make it look beautiful. But to be honest, I don't always have the energy or inspo to do this every week, but I'll say I'll do it at least twice a week to try to limit the amount of time that I go out. I think that if you have good quality ingredients, especially when it comes to like an Italian cuisine, you really don't need much, just a couple of ingredients. It's so easy to whip up something that's delicious and that packs a punch. I also always have frozen fruit and veggies in case I don't have time or energy to cook a full meal. I'll just whip up a quick smoothie or steam some veggies and call it a day. This is super handy for those days when you have like zero energy to cook something. Instead of like going and ordering something that's unhealthy, you can do something quick and easy that's still delicious, but also a healthier option at home. I truly hope that this video gave you some inspo and insight into things that I like to eat and how I keep my body in shape. I tried to make this as realistic as possible. But honestly, one of the things that I struggle with the most is coming up with new meals to cook that are easy, healthy, and delicious. So if you're the same, hopefully this helps you out, gave you a couple of new ideas, especially now that we are getting back into the grind. Don't ask me for the recipes because most of these things I just think of on the spot. But all of them, of course, are based on inspo that I get online. So I'll share some of my favorite sources with you in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're new. You watched the whole video, so you might as well. See you next Sunday. Bye, guys.